What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the MadGood Knicks Show. I'm Far, that's Steph, that's TK, here to give you all the Knicks news. Please like, comment, follow, subscribe, hit that little bell button to get all the latest updates. We're doing a lot of videos. So guys, Kevin Knox. Got a lot to talk about on this guy. I think it's been a tale of two first few games of his career. He's about 25 games into the season. Boy, has he turned it around. Steph, can you give us a breakdown of the season stats?
I will. I got you. Averaging 24 minutes a game with 11.2 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, shooting 37% from the field and 36% from three-point range.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Now, let's take a little rewind to the last 10 games of the season and talk about what his stats look like there.
Hit him.
33.4 minutes per game, 17 points per game, on 41% field goal. So obviously field goal is something we've addressed in the past, but you guys see it is getting progressively better.
Absolutely.
Free throw percentage, another place that really needs to improve, but he's already acknowledged that, but he's right around 60% at the free throw line. 6.1 rebounds per game and 1.6 assists per game. I think one of the keys here really is that points per game average just over the last handful of games that he's played.
Yeah.
One of the stats that we wanted to point out was last 6 games in a row, he's had plus 15 points. Last Knick rookie to do that, Patrick Ewing. You're always in good company when you have Patrick Ewing on the list right next to you. So, all in all, I mean, obviously this guy's doing a lot better. He's looking at a la Summer League Kevin Knox, which I really like seeing. Yeah. What do you guys think has really changed since he's really exploded on the scene recently?
Do you want to go ahead? I have something to say, but I wanted to let you go first.
Oh, thank you.
You're older than me.
Thank you. I mean, he's healthy for that matter. I think as a 19-year-old rookie coming into the league, it's difficult to adjust. Having him come off the bench was obviously an experience for him, but to see him, watch the games while he was injured and kind of pick up on little nuances of the game, I think really helped him improve. You know what? I think Fizdale has done a great job of just whispering, sort of confidence into his players, and especially the rookies. Kevin Knox.
Not only the rookies, because even Dotson, he sat
in players in general.
Right? Yeah.
But Kevin Knox, he's really come on the past couple games. And I hate to put it this way, but since he's interviewed and since he sat down with the MadGood Knicks Show, he has been balling out. So you have been noticing that, right?
You might hate it, but I don't. No, I will flaunt it.
Yeah. I'd also like to add that he's been playing a lot more minutes. You said 33 is averaging the last 10 games with an average of 24. So Fizdale is putting him out there. And I think that, what I really like about Fizdale is he's kind of treating his stars and his lower level players kind of the same.
Yeah.
He's putting them on the bench. He's letting them maybe soak in the game a little, understand the function of the Knicks, understand the opponents, understand the NBA in total, and then kind of putting them out there and testing them out. We saw it with Frank, we saw it with Dotson, now we're seeing it with Knox, but so far it's been working the best for Knox and Dotson.
Let's talk specifics here about Kevin Knox. I think the main thing that I've really seen from him is aggressiveness. And I feel like we always say that about players, especially on the Knicks recently, a la Frank Ntilikina.
Right.
Once you're a little bit more aggressive, it's magical what that can do for you.
Yeah,
I know.
The beauty of his aggression, though, is it hasn't just been chucking up more shots from three. He's been going to the basket. He goes to the basket 2.3 times. I'm sorry, he goes to the line 2.3 times per game, which I'd also like to see increase because I think he's a player who can not only create his own shot, but he can get to the basket and draw contact. Unfortunately, right now he's shooting 60% from free throw. We'll look for that to go up and improve. We'll talk about like 80s, mid-80s, because he does have a great form and he's a decent shooter. A lot of catch and shoots, he makes those. He's just shooting in rhythm. He's getting a lot of opportunities when players, you know what? You know who's been a huge, let me just talk about this because this idea just came to mind. Someone who's had the biggest influence on Kevin Knox on the court has been the play of Emmanuel Mudiay. Right. When Mudiay attacks the basket and finds shooters in the corner, a la Kevin Knox, he's able to get into to rhythm and shoot these knockdown buckets. Before that, we had Trey Burke, who doesn't do the best of job, creating his own lane and getting to the basket. We know the lack thereof for Frank Ntilikina of getting to the basket. So Moutier, we gotta emphasize his play on Kevin Knox, because I think he is the main reason why Kevin Knox is able to average 11, 12 points per game this season, 20 points.
I don't think it's a surprise when you have an assist man on the team with a star such as Knox that will thrive off of catch and shoot, that thrives off of transition. Having an assist man point guard will definitely benefit his game, and I think they'll only get better.
I agree.
Small side note, I never considered Emmanuel Moutier assist man.
I never did
Go
either,
figure.
but he's been killing it this year.
Yeah, I think, and his shooting last 10 games from long range, almost 40% from three.
Very
and
good.
he has been very strong from three-point line, I think, throughout the season, even when he was shooting poorly. The Fizdale effect, T, you had touched on this. I think what Fizdale has been doing with these young guys, not only for Kevin Knox, but he's built out kind of like this rubric for what you do for players who aren't doing well. You're gonna sit them. You're gonna hopefully coach them the right way. You're gonna tell them the right things, but they're not gonna get that playing time.
Yeah.
You keep what you kill, and these guys were not killing it, and now they are, and they're getting to keep it.
Oh yeah.
And he's not separating anyone from the pack. He's keeping it standardized, which is what I love.
Now, I also want to talk about his potential chance of winning Rookie of the Year, and we got to talk about a couple of other players here too. We're gonna mention Luka Doncic. Am I getting that right?
Luka Doncic.
Luka Doncic.
Okay.
And Trae Young as well. So those would be the two main rookies that are up there for Rookie of the Year.
And DeAndre Ayton. Don't sleep on Ayton.
I'm not sleeping on him. I think
it's Luka all the way.
He's kind of doing. He's doing really well as rookie. Ayton is, but I don't think he has that factor of a Rookie of the Year. I think the only reason Knox, outside of him potentially having better numbers by the end of the season than Luka might or Trae Young might, God willing, hopefully. But I think what sets him apart from the pack is he does it in New York. And I think that is such a huge factor that cannot go unnoticed. I think KP would have won Rookie of the Year if Cat's numbers, especially on the rebound side, didn't absolutely blow him out the park, just because of the fact that KP did it in New York.
You know what's interesting about that? I do agree there's some sort of element of, market involved, but Luka Doncic is, did I get it right? Doncic is, thanks Pete, is playing at an all-star caliber level. And not only that, the Mavericks are a playoff team. And I think wins and losses does equate to who the Rookie of the Year should be. Kevin Knox is playing well. Let's not discount that. No. But you have Doncic.
Let me ask you.
What does he have to do?
What does he have to do to win Rookie of the Year?
He's asked to consistently average 20 points for the rest of the season.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think he needs to do that, as well as the Knicks need to be on the cusp of a playoff berth, if not 8th seed.
He needs to bring him from underground for sure.
Yeah,
which I don't really see happening. But it's no knock on him. It's just that
our fault. Knocks.
It's not fair that there are players like Luka and Trae Young out there, but Knox is going to do his thing, and I think for Knox, it's more of a learning process than for Luka. They're already kind of entering a system that's already been sort of established. But we got to give Knox more credit than he's been given, because it is a brand new team. It is brand new for everyone. He is very young, and he's been consistently improving.
And he went down and then came up. Like that's
exactly
huge. That's huge.
Exactly.
Come back.
And one last thing, Doncic. Did I say that right?
It's better. Yeah,
getting better. I'm working on it. Has been a pro for several years already. You know what I mean? So I get it. He's Rookie of the Year in the NBA, but he's been a professional for X amount of time. Kevin Knox is literally just getting his feet wet. So do I think he may garner some Rookie of the Year votes? Maybe. But do I think he has a chance to win it? Probably not. Still love the guy.
Absolutely.
Let us know in the comments what you guys think. What do you think Kevin Knox has to do to win Rookie of the Year? How do you think his turnaround has been? Do you think it was Fizdale? Do you think a lot was on him? I'm just excited to see him play at this caliber.
Same.
I'm excited to see him play alongside KP eventually as well.
He probably has to put Doncic in a body bag.
Drop it in the comments. Don't put Luka in a body bag, or if you do, don't blame it on us. Talk to you guys.
The wolf pack is back. Put it in a body bag.
It wasn't me.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. It's the MadGood Knicks Show. The whole crew's here. I'm Far, that's Pete, that's TK, that's Steph, that's Jay. Here to give you all the Knicks news all damn time. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell button. Y'all already know the deal. So this segment in particular will be us just going down our Knicksmas wish list, guys. So I'll kick this one off. So top 3 things I'm purely wishing for my beloved New York Knicks. 1, I want a top 3 pick. Please give us a top 3 pick.
There goes my list.
Number 2. I want to see a tiny bit of Kristaps Porzingis on the court this season.
No!
Tiny bit. Selfish. It's selfish, all right? It's for my own selfish reasons. I'm dying to see what he's going to look like with this squad. And I don't know, bring him back for the last 7 games and play him 19 minutes a game. That's it. That's all I'm asking for. All right, just a little bit of Kristaps Porzingis. And then finally, this is more of what I don't want to see. I kind of don't want a superstar next year. Unless we are perfectly set up where the superstar will be that piece that will get us the championship, I don't think I want to see a superstar. I'd like to see this build organically. I'd like to see us have our homegrown New York guys drafted and brought up and finally get into contention. That's what I want to see. That's my Knicksmas wish list. Next.
Hey guys, Knicksmas wish list.
Yeah.
I got a couple things on my
He got
mind.
educated before.
Number 1, defensive chemistry. Now, one of the caveats of team chemistry is that defensive chemistry takes longer and is harder to develop than offensive chemistry. And that's something you see the Knicks lacking right now big time when they're on their rotations on the defensive end, whether it's transition defense, perimeter defense, whatever the case may be. A lot of guys are missing their rotations, they're out of position. And that really just takes practice. I mean, the teams knew, all the guys knew this is the worst case scenario as far as defense goes, but that's something I want to see next year. Obviously, I want those assist numbers to go up. So ball movement, off-ball movement. I want to see a more dynamic offense. We mentioned earlier about THJ getting more assists. We want Alonzo Trier to be more of a playmaker. Basically, we just want our offense to be a little more dynamic. And again, I think that's going to come with time and chemistry. And last but not least, more consistent three-point shooting. We've got a couple of good shooters. We got Dotson, Kevin Knox is starting to line it up from 3. Vonleh occasionally gets you some production from the three-point line, but I think all around we just need more of it and more consistent night in, night out, because the league is going that direction and you're just not going to be able to keep up without it. So that's my Knicksmas wish list, and I hope Santa's nice to me this year.
All right, guys, scouting department, do your job this season. In case anything goes wrong for the Knicks, which is very damn possible, be sure that we can select someone past Zion. All right, just be prepared, just be prepped. All right, I would like consistency and for us to continue to find our strides with the people that we are developing. We're seeing amazing things from Knox. We're seeing some better things from Frank and Trier. I mean, he's just been off the charts for us in terms of what we were expecting. And in terms of what we can do in the offseason, I don't want you only to sign one, but sign 2 damn superstars to this team. And let's actually turn this around in one offseason. Wow. Hey, they at least got 2 though.
Golden State Warriors
/ New York Knicks.
What's up, guys? So for my Knicksmas,
So
for my Knicksmas list, laugh it on up, guys. I'm the only jackass without notes or a cell phone to read 3 things. So starting with number 1, because I can remember all 3, I would like KP to get healthy. So that would be number 1 for my Knicksmas list. Number 2, I would like a top 3 pick in this year's lottery, because that is very important to me. I don't want to have the opportunity to draft outside of Zion. So let's get one of 3 guys: Cam, RJ, or Zion. And number 3, I would love to get... Guys, can you cut it out? I would love to get Frank Wright. If Frank Ntilikina can become the guy that we know he can be,
Frank Wright.
I think that will turn...
I just kind of slowly processed in my head.
Is that a new college basketball player, Frank Wright?
It's not Frank White, it's Frank Wright.
Frank Wright in the draft.
Boy, I wish you guys had gone after me. I would destroy you. Yeah, so for number 3, I wish we can get Frank Wright. Frank Ntilikina Wright.
understood. I knew what you meant.
Thank you, Pete.
I understood.
Thank you. All right, this has been a disaster.
That's why I was gonna have notes.
Everybody else comments when I don't have notes. I didn't need fucking notes.
All right, guys, it's been a disaster.
How do you guys have notes for 3 things? Like, you guys can't remember 3 things? Like, come on.
All right, guys, so finally for my Knicksmas wish list, I'm going to have to start off number 1 with KP coming back this season healthy. I think it'll be very beneficial for him to get some chemistry going with the team, especially with the rising Knox, Dotson doing his thing, Frank getting slightly better, and Fizdale implementing his system. I think it'll be very nice to see KP get in this season. Number 2 on my wish list is a 40-point game from Knox. I think he's well equipped to do so. I think he's been doing extremely well the last 6 games, averaging over 20 points. He's been starting to get into the flow of things, playing a little more fluidly. Fizdale has given him more confidence, so I think he could squeeze a 40-point game in there somewhere. And finally, my last wish, I really want Cantor to become an assist man. I think this team would become insanely better if he's able to pass the ball, at least from the paint, if he's able to move the guys around. He's a double-double machine. He's been killing it, except that one little category that could mean so much for us Knicks. That's all I got to say, guys. So thank you so much. Make sure to comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, like us. If you don't like us,
Like us anyway.
like us anyway. That's all I got to say. Peace, guys.
Bye.
Happy Merry Christmas.
Happy Holiday Christmas.